There's a lot of suspense over VK Sasikala's release date from the Parapana Agrahara, and in this video we'll be decoding the details that you need to know about Sasikala's release and also about the political ramifications of her being out before the 2021 Assembly elections in Tamil Nadu. Essentially, an RTI reply from the prison department has confirmed that Sasikala's probable date of release is January 27, 2021, but this is if that fine amount of 10 crores is paid. If Sasikala doesn't pay the fine, then her release will only be on 27th February, a year later in 2022. The release date, however, could vary if Sasikala also utilizes her parole facility. We also spoke to Sasikala's lawyer. He's expressed confidence that she'll actually be out by the end of September, that's this month. As per Sasikala's lawyer, if she gets a remission for good behavior, she can actually come out by the end of this month. He's also said that her legal team is ready to pay the fine amount of 10 crore rupees. Let's play out for you exactly what Sasikala's lawyer told us first.
She is eligible for 3 days per month as per the Karnataka prison manual, which is called ordinary remission. As far as that manual is concerned, nowhere it has stated under Prevention of Corruption Act, any person, convicted person, is not eligible for ordinary remission. It says any prisoner is eligible for ordinary remission under good conduct for 3 days per month. She has crossed 43 months till September 2020. So 3 days into 43 months, she is gaining 129 days. Then she would be coming by the month of September 2020.
We have no comments with respect to her release, and we as a party shall not be affected by of whatsoever reasons there are.
And let me take this across also to the guests who are joining me on this video. Mr. Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate, is joining us. Also with us is Jairam, who is part of the Arapur Iyakam. He is an activist. Mr. Pugarendi, AIADMK chief spokesperson, is also with us on this broadcast. Mr. Sanjay Hegde, to you first. What is the likelihood of Sasikala actually coming out by the end of this month? You know, going by the RTI reply, it could be in January. Her legal team, however, seems to be very confident that she could come out in about 10 to 15 days from now. Is that legally possible?
The RTI is based on the understanding that maybe she does not pay the fine. So a probable date of release, assuming that she doesn't pay the fine 2021, if she pays the 2022, or if she pays the fine 2021 with the scheduled period of 3 years without counting the remission dates. As her lawyers have pointed out, that she has earned remission, that there is no exception in the Karnataka prison rules as far as Prevention of Corruption Act cases are concerned. Remission is normally counted for every prisoner. As long as the prisoner has maintained good conduct, the remission dates, 3 days in a month, is given as remission. So the sentence counted with the remission could possibly see her out at the end of the month.
But Mr. Hegde, you know, when you say remission for good behavior, can you define that for us? Because there has been a controversy during Sasikala's tenure in jail also, where there were allegations, you know, that there were specific perks for her, that she received this VIP treatment in jail. Will that count?
See, the allegations are against the jail officials. As far as she is concerned, she has maintained good behavior. There do not seem to be any specific allegations against her that she broke the law in any manner whatsoever. Good behavior for the purpose of remission includes not attacking fellow prisoners, not attacking jailers, cooperating in being locked up, etc., etc., etc. So unless there's a specific report from the jail authorities that she did not maintain good behavior in this instance or that instance, and therefore remission has to be cancelled, I don't see how all these other allegations only can take her out of the purview of remission. If the state government were to take in any particular complaint and then deny her by a specific order remission, that's a different circumstance, of course.
in these circumstances of a remission, is it a rarity to actually refuse a convict remission and let them out early? What exactly is the circumstance? I want to understand the chances, whether there's a greater chance of her coming out this month or there's a greater chance of that request of a legal team being denied.
See, remission is routinely counted. When we file matters in the Supreme Court also, we say that the convict has suffered so many months of imprisonment, and which, when added with remission, amounts to so much of the total sentence. So, in normal circumstances, remission is almost taken for granted. Then remissions used to be granted for all kinds of purposes, like if somebody donated blood while in prison, then they would get extra days of remission. Or occasionally some national event occurred, as a consequence of which everybody earned an extra month or two of remission. All these things have happened, and it's only in the case of life sentences that the period together with remission can't come below 14 years. Otherwise, by law, there are no real fetters on remission.
Okay, so there is another question surrounding whether, Sasikala is going to be released now or later, and that is about the fine amount of 10 crores. I want to bring in Jairam on this. Jairam, 10 crores is the amount that Sasikala has to pay up. If she pays that, she could be released maybe by this month or by January 2021. Going by the assets that Sasikala and her family owns, it's very clear that 10 crores, she'll be easily able to pay that fine, that penalty.
Correct. I mean, 10 crores is very much nothing for Sasikala or Ilavarsi and others. See, what we must understand is that Sasikala is right now undergoing punishment for the disproportionate assets case between the period 1991 to 1996. There has been almost hundreds of Binami firms that has been floated, right from 1991 all the way till 2016, and many of these firms are still alive. We must understand that the Income Tax Department in the year after 2016, they raided her and found that 1,600 crore rupees of cash using demonetized notes were used to buy Binami properties. As recently as last month, Income Tax attached 300 crores worth of properties, including a big bungalow that she was building on Poyas Garden. So, there are these huge, and apart from these, there are many other assets that are still unattached, that have been brought through, means that are very, very questionable. Money brought in as unsecured loans through various sources as cash deposited, and then many of these properties have been brought up. So, all these are there, and we must understand all these attachments under Binami Transactions Act and other things. Mr. Hegde is here. He can also say that they are not cognizable, which means she may not be arrested after she comes out. She pays these 10 crore rupees and comes out. The cases on Binami Transactions Act may still go on, but she may not be arrested. So I think in all possibility, by Jan 2021, she is going to be out paying the fine of 10 crore rupees. Therefore.
The point that you made about these Benami properties and the investigation into that, Mr. Hegde, there are these cases that have been going on for years now. Do you really see them, progressing in such a manner that it could actually affect her in maybe 2 months from now, where she has to go into prison, where she's convicted in those cases?
Well, that would depend on the speed of those cases. I do not know at what stage they are. In fact, this case itself, to come to the stage of conviction took nearly, I think, about 25 years from the time that it was initiated. So I really do not know what stage the other cases are, whether there have been charges framed or how many witnesses examined, and whether the defense has sought to lead evidence. You can't hazard a guess. In this case, which she has been convicted, she seems to have served out the majority of her sentence, and with remission, she may have completed the entirety of her sentence. So there would be no reason to keep her in prison. And I don't think there is a government which is vengeful enough to try preventive detention.
Okay, okay. Politically, of course, we'll have to see what really happens. But Mr. Hegde, thank you for joining us with your legal opinion. Jairam, you know, keeping in mind all of these aspects that you've referred to financially also, it also shows and explains perhaps how powerful politically Sasikala is, because all of these finances makes a difference. And that's why you tend to wonder whether the AIADMK will also have to give in to that financial pressure that Sasikala can put.
Yes, definitely. You know, once she comes out of the prison, you know, the kind of money power that she can exert on the sitting MLAs, on the ministers and other people is going to be enormous. And, you know, we must understand that many of these ADMK MLAs or the ministers have not spoken any word against Sasikala so far in the last few years. You know, maybe a very few of them have done, but many of them have remained silent. So, which means they are not against Sasikala necessarily, and you know, the kind of money power that she can exert on many of these people can result in a split of ADMK or many of them switching to the camp of Sasikala as well. So all that remains to be seen, but definitely the money power and the muscle power of Sasikala will be in display again after she comes out of the prison. That can definitely be expected. And it is very worrying as well, you know, as a citizen to look at all these as well, because in a democracy, we look at you know, we need honest governance and all that. But here is a person who have been convicted of corruption, who can't stand in elections for the next 6 years, and still can exert you know, so much with the money power that she has. So that's very worrying as well.
Let me get in Mr. Pugarendi of the AIADMK on this. Mr. Pugarendi, what is the AIADMK thinking? Is there a chance that, you know, there will be, in a sense, a homecoming for Sasikala in the AIADMK, that there could be a merger between the AMMK and the AIADMK?
Good morning, good afternoon to India today. Madam, I am observing that is, you are asking the question that our general body, the meeting and the executive committee meeting all conducted and clearly removed from the party, expelled from the party Sasikala. This is a kind of information first. So, we are not interested because the problem is, original problem, she challenged the 2 leaves before the election commission of the symbol. Then later, she challenged the general counsel, general secretary post. So, election commission and High Court, Supreme Court, all failed. The judgment favor to the Yadapadi Palaniswamy, the Honorable Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, and Deputy Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, Mr. O. Pannirselvam, and the President Madhusudanan. This is the judgment, you know very well. So, no question, here saying that money power and manpower, nothing. Because through TTV Dinagaran, one of the gentlemen, Navy of this Sasikala, he was contested the election throughout Tamil Nadu. I was there when she was surrendered the court, before the court, after the Honorable Supreme Court. I know the entire story. When they totally failed, they lost the deposit in all the where. No vote bank, nothing. So it is not necessary to, the question not raised to merger or something. So totally it is wrong.
But we have to come to, you know, we have to come close to reality, which is, Mr. Pugarendi, that Sasikala has a certain clout, be it money power or otherwise. And while you may say that, you know, the AIMK has completely failed and whatnot, we saw what happened to TTV Dinakaran.
No, with the past 4 years, the Dinakaran totally failed. But that's why I told you, lost the deposits. So starts the own party. Now the own party, still time, no symbol, nothing. So Sasikala comes, he is also inviting for president post, their chairman for president post. Here he is challenging, already gone, the general secretary post. Totally confusion. She has not given any statement or through the letter or something. Now the very important thing, when you start this debate, that you raised a very good question, no one is given the proper answer, kind of information. That is Vinay Commission. That is former secretary, government formed the Vinay Commission. Vinay Commission inquired, clearly, thoroughly inquired against the Ruba, the police high official, the police DIG, the Ruba complaint. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
The report given by the inquiry committee led by retired senior IAS Vinay Kumar has
No,
clearly
agreed. But
stated.
Mr. Pugarendi, you know, you're
One
saying
second,
that
one
I
second.
brought that
Madam,
up.
No, one second. Please. Stated that class A facilities which could not have been given formally were actually continued when non-withdrawal. In my view of this serious lapse.
No, I
In
agree.
my
Mr.
view of
Pugarendi, that is something we discussed. But
this is a serious.
legally speaking, Mr. Hegde has told
no.
us you can't act against Sasikala for that. The action will be against the jail administration. So, you know, there's no question of anything happening there, Mr. Pugarendi.
No, I am welcoming, madam. Let it come evening or tomorrow morning. We have no any objection. The opinion given by our advocate Hegde or someone, the good conduct is the question mark now. The inquired and given the report to the Vinay Commission that is pending before the government.
Jairam, what do you make of this? You know, what Mr. Pugarendi is saying about Sasikala's good behavior in jail. Do you see this becoming a political flashpoint, that perhaps something that the EPS government can do about it? Because whatever Mr. Pugarendi says, I get a sense the AIADMK will have reason to worry before the polls.
See, whatever this good contact issue can do is only delay her release until Jan 2021. What we must understand is by Jan 2021, she is legally free to leave the prison as long as she pays the fine of 10 crore rupees. In case they apply the good conduct, she may be released earlier than January 2020. So that's what we are talking about. I think Pugarendi has a point there with respect to her contact, with respect to the facilities available and all that in the jail. We saw flashes of her going for shopping and all those things came out. So these definitely may be taken into account. But point is, by Jan 2021, she's going to be out, and that's at least 3 or 4 months before the state legislative election.
No, and that is the point. That is the point.
That is what we need to.
Yes, exactly. And Mr. Pugarendi, you know, as much as you say Sasikala won't be a threat, politically speaking, considering it's a few months before the elections, it is going to pose a problem for the AIADMK. Before I wrap this up, one last question to you. Are you worried that, you know, with the AMMK back in full force, it could split the vote bank of the AIADMK?
Nothing will be happen, madam. That is that are you remembering the split? That is a Janagi Ramachandran MGR. That is the ADMK splitted, then a 2-party, you know very well. That time every constituency, minimum 10,000, 15,000 votes, Madam Janagi Ramachandran MGR received that votes, every constituency in Tamil Nadu, all they were. But here nothing, 500 votes, 1,000 votes, what they are going to do now? So totally altogether,
so you're saying there's no threat, there's no problem for the AIADMK whenever Sasikala comes out?
Absolutely no problem. She will take a rest. My own opinion, she will not enter the politics also.
Let's see, Mr. Pugarendi, if that happens. Thank you for joining us.
No worries, let her come. Let her come today evening or tomorrow morning, no problem.
Okay, all right. Mr. Pugarendi, thank you for joining us. Thanks to Jairam also for joining us. Even as, you know, we track all the updates coming in from Tamil Nadu, there's no doubt that VK Sasikala's release will have a huge dent on Tamil Nadu politics. I covered this when Sasikala had rose to prominence in the political arena of Tamil Nadu and the kind of drama that had played out. We'll have to see if there's a repeat of that, which is months to go for the Tamil Nadu election. Thank you for watching this video.